Hey everyone, welcome to an impromptu Chief Concerns episode. I'm Marcus Dash here with our guy, former legendary Chiefs tight end, Jason Dunn. I know we're coming to you guys a little bit. We had an episode that came out earlier, and now we have a little live today. It's I think someone on Twitter commented saying we're giving them a lot today. But JD, you've seen some stuff. We addressed Donovan Smith signing last night, but you've seen some stuff on Twitter that you think needs to be talked about a little bit, like a little Tyreek Hill action. It needs to be said. So, what needs to be said on this Donovan Smith thing that you've been seeing a lot of on Twitter? A lot of doubters.
Well, I mean, I don't. As far as doubters and whatnot, I think this thing has context to it. All right, I think it's a great signing. Just kind of talking about it last night. I'm getting off the road, so I'm looking rough because I have just came back from Kansas City. It was a wonderful trip out there. But just speaking on this Donovan Smith thing. Listen, this is a good sign about Veach. I think he did a wonderful job. And so he made a statement about looking for guys that's still on the block. He's looking for guys who are still available that can be able to help out the football team, the organization. And so having Donovan Smith, who was on the street, is to me made sense. It's a practical signing to me. Part of the reason is I think the controversy is Jawaan Taylor, his signing, how much he signed for was the issue. Right? I think people were talking about, well, look, Jawaan Taylor got $80 million. Why would we sign Jawaan Taylor $80 million and not give Orlando Brown Jr. that type of money? And so there's a couple of things there. OBJ, because he sat out the year before and he held out, I think it was one of the things that hurt him. I think it was one of the things that hurt in negotiation and the contract, and then coming in the very next season, almost doing the same thing. So it was almost in a sense that it was kind of holding us hostage and whatnot. Chiefs didn't want to deal with that. So they found a right tackle, Jawaan Taylor, to come in, and they got him. They got him for $80 million. Now, here's the thing. In the press conference, everybody was talking about Andy Reid said he was going to play left tackle, or that was the reports out. But it wasn't nothing solidified. The way that he said it, he worded it, was a little bit more vague, in the understanding. And so he kind of left it open to interpretation. He didn't really say, hey, look, we brought him in to be our left tackle. He was saying the guy has the ability to play left tackle needed to. And so he does. He has all the athletic ability to make a transition, all the athleticism to make a transition to left tackle if he needed to. I know, and I know sometimes what we do, we get into evaluating a video that we see, like the workouts. We're evaluating, oh my gosh, he's going out of the left-handed stance, left tackle stance. Well, I also said, man, he went from the right as well. So there's nothing wrong with going from both. You just want to be proficient being a tackle because that's what you want. You just want to be a much well-rounded person, and especially a player. But he definitely has that ability. I think when you brought in Donovan Smith, to me, that was saying, okay, we were looking for a left tackle, and what we didn't get in the draft, we got right here in free agency. Without a doubt, okay, we know for a fact that the Chiefs were looking to try to get a left tackle in the draft. We know that. And I know they believe that if they got a left tackle who was more suited, that was their responsibility, that was their specialty, being left tackle, that's what they was going to go to. That's what they was going to go to. So I think this was kind of reactionary, us getting Felix in the first round, because we tried to move up, right, to get Anton Harrison. I mean that was like our thought process. I said Darnell Wright, okay, Anton Harrison. Those are the two guys I was hoping the Chiefs was going to be able to get. Because those guys are athletic guys. Now, obviously, Darnell Wright goes to Cincinnati, second pick taken. But he's, swing tackle. He can play both ways, but he has left tackle background. Anton Harrison, great left tackle. He could have came in day one to start and been a starting left tackle. And Jawaan Taylor could have went to his original position, his natural position. And like you said, the number one thing is to absolutely protect Patrick Mahomes. So I said, that's what you want to do. You want to fortify the guys up front. You want to create a fortress around Patrick Mahomes, a moat, if you will, a castle to protect Patrick Mahomes, the $500 million man, the guy that the way the chief goes, he goes. This is the dude that you got to make sure priority is protect Patrick Mahomes. No doubt about it. So Hefe says that, and that's 100% real. 100% real. But I just think that sometimes when people are like, oh my gosh, we're bringing him in for? Well, shoot, bringing him in because we want a guy that specializes in that position to be there. Right? Like I said this last night. Why would you use a screwdriver for a job when the hammer is the one that is used for? It's to get the nail. You don't want to use a screwdriver driving a nail. I'm not saying you can't use a screwdriver to drive a nail in. You probably do that, but use a hammer. Use a hammer. And so I think Donovan Smith is the hammer for us. He's the guy suited left tackle to play. Now, if all the counts are coming out and saying that he's healthy, and I think it's part of the problem too, is because he graded low last year, was battling injuries. If he's coming in, has a clean bill of health, they've evaluated, they looked over him, and they feel good about it, then they're just not going to just, on happenstance, just take a guy just to be taking him. And even if you say, this is for depth reasons and whatnot, okay, be happy for that. I just think that you get a guy here for $9 million as a backup will be the most expensive bench warmer out there with Chiefs. So $9 million, you get a deal. We know Vince he likes deals.
So my question, JD, is because I've seen a lot of people bring this up. Okay, it's up to $9 million, right?
Up to $9 million.
And everyone's saying, okay, the $80 million, Jawaan Taylor, we're going to pay him right tackle $80 million. And then on the other hand, on the other side, left tackle, we're paying a guy up to $9 million. So my question to you is, I know we say $9 million at the highest, and that would be a lot of money. Right. What if the base is $3 or $4 million, like the Brett Veach special, $3 or $4 million? Would you still say would you still have the same opinion that he is going to play left tackle?
I mean, he's going to play left tackle. The thing is, there still will be a battle to see exactly has he healed up all the way, right? And so here's the thing, because what you want to be able to do is you want to make sure that you're covered on all bases, right? If something happens to one of these guys, then obviously another guy comes in. And it was another thing we were battling last year too, because when Orlando Brown Jr. went here during training camp, we were trying to get guys in there to fill in.
Yeah.
We were trying to get capable guys to fill in, and it took them some time. They still had a lot of rust on them. They had a lot of growing up to do. But we getting a proven guy. And the thing is, if we get a proven guy for less money who can come in and start, man, that's even better. That's even better. So yeah, $3 or $4 million for backup tackle. Nah, I mean that's good money. That's what backup tackles should be able to get, at least that. So the thing is, now let that investment work for you. You come in camp and he's playing out lights out. Okay, he looks good. He doesn't look like he no jerk in his whatever it is, anything that was ailing him last year, and everything looks good. This guy could be a starter. And this could be one of the greatest deals that's been out there. So.
And one thing I will say, and a lot of people who don't casual football fans, but Donovan Smith is only 29 years old. He's not like this 35-year-old vet, which a lot of these Chief fans are making him seem to be. Like, oh man, he's a seasoned vet. Yeah, he is. But people are making him seem like he's a veteran. It's like this guy's at the twilight of his career. It's like 29 is prime for left tackles, especially a guy who's been around as many years as he's been starting at left tackle. And think about it this way: we got a 29-year-old left tackle. Who can make anywhere from $3 to $9 million this coming year. Yeah. And it's pretty much a tryout for him because, as we know, left tackles get paid a lot of money. This is a bargain we're getting him at. He comes in, he starts at left tackle. He has a solid year. He's going to get paid big time money next year because he'll be 30 next year. So that's, I mean, as much as it is a bargain for us, it's a bargain for, I mean, it's kind of he's kind of doing a tryout year, and it's we always say a prove it deal. He's proven himself at left tackle for $9 million. And quite frankly, if he has a good year and we re-sign him, we're going to get a good deal out of him, I think.
Going to get a good deal. And I look at it like this, for the value in itself, if you getting him as a rookie, okay, you get a guy that's experienced. He's seen the guys that he's going to be going against in the NFL. So he has that. That right there, I've always said this, is it's hard. It's always hard to try to put a dollar amount on experience. And a guy that has that type of his history like that, it's always hard to deal with that. We know a rookie's going to come in, like Wanya Morris. He's got to make that transition, okay? He's going to be a great right tackle. He's going to be able to compete for that job. Yeah, get the best 5 guys out here, and that's the thing about it, because competition is always good. That's what you want to be able to do. But if you're getting a guy, like I said, with that type of experience, and he's healthy, and he's the one that's starting for your left tackle, man, that's the greatest investment you possibly make. I mean, seriously. So, look, we got a lot of guys like, Tasia, he's sitting over there, he's talking about like, yeah, he's not sold on Yang, Kennard, Moore, starting. Right, look, these are young guys. These are guys that's unproven. Yang, because of the injury, is always a question mark. And so you bring a guy in that's got that, who's been here or at least been in the league for a number of years of doing that. But also, too, man, I just kind of it was one thing I kind of put out here, too. They were just talking about how, left tackles may not be as valuable right tackles, or they, now the gap is starting to be, starting to shrink. That's true. That is true. The value of a right tackle is absolutely important. But make no mistake about it, left tackle is always that position that is coveted more than any other position on the O-line. It really is. So when we sit over here, I'm looking at the draft, and I'm like, man, the first 10 guys that got drafted at tackle were left tackles. 2 other guys were pretty much swing tackles, right? But they have left tackle backgrounds. Why is that, JD? Well, because left tackle is a valuable position, because he is absolutely watching the backside of the quarterback. That's what he's doing. So it's always the hardest position. And so, that position is always coveted because it does have a lot of value in it. Now, guys like Lane Johnson and such need to be paid because they do an incredible job on the right side. But I said this to you. I was saying, last year, if guys wanted to go against Wiley or OBJ, who would you choose to go after? I mean, honestly. And Wiley. I said over the history of time, you start seeing defenses, obviously, and it's always been like this, where you would have a defensive end or some of their best players play on the left side on the defensive line, our right side on the offensive side is going against that right tackle because they knew it was probably be an easier task doing that. And so that was one of the keys. I mean, we've seen that. We've seen over the history. I mean, when I played against guys, I knew who was going to be on the right side. I'm watching Kevin Green and Michael Strahan, the minister, Reggie White. This guy played on the right side. They played on the right side. Well, Mike gets 22 sacks in a year. I mean, he's killing it. So now we see today, it's same thing. I said, man, the Watt brothers, okay, the Bosa brothers, everybody's playing on their side. Everybody. DCs are not just figuring this out. This has been part of the strategy for ever since the football has been out here.
Yeah.
So it's been getting different, but make no mistake about it. Left tackles is still the most valuable position because you're protecting the quarterback's his blind side, his backside, and he's not going to be able to feel that guy as much as he would somebody that's kind of in his face and his peripheral, what he could kind of see. But I like what he said. Like, yeah, we're not just not competing; we're competing for rings.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I don't care. You go get you what you need in the building to win that ring. So you get this guy for 1 year, Donovan Smith, and it works out. Bet, cool, great signing. Everybody's going to love it. So yeah, man. Look, I'm all for it. But like, when Andy Reid was sitting there talking about Jawaan Taylor, he kind of left the door open because he knew it was going to be a tough task. He knew it.
Yeah. What's funny about his quote when they signed Jawaan Taylor, it was like it's one of those funny things. Like everyone expects him to play left tackle, but like in that quote, I'll pull it up here. But he said he can play center. Like he listed every position on the offensive line. He can play center, like he play right tackle, right guard. He can play it all. Like it was one of those things. Like, okay, well, and now when you look at, we wanted to trade up for Anton Harrison, and then we ended up signing Donovan Smith right after the draft. It's like, okay, maybe he was more, maybe he was serious about him, staying at right. But I'll pull it up here just so people can kind of see what we're talking about with this. Let me pull this up. Okay.
But yeah, when he's saying that, he has that versatility. He can absolutely do those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the quote, I liked him. I like his tape. Reed said, we saw him firsthand a couple of times too. Even though he was on the right side, I think he can transfer over to the left side. He's a really good athlete. I think he's excited about that. So goes on to say, this is my favorite part. Now, that doesn't mean he can't play the right side, Reed said. If we got another left tackle, he could play the right side. He gives you flexibility. He could probably jump in at guard. He's smart. He could probably play center. So I think everything a lot of people are experiencing now is what you read through the lines 2 months ago when this was announced. So, like, should we be that shocked?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's right there in front of us. And so, like I said, he leaves the door open because he's like, hey, look, we get another left tackle. We're moving back over to the right. And I think they were doing that in the draft class. I think in the draft, they were looking for a left tackle, and I said that. I said it before then. I'm like, man, that's our needs, tackle. And everybody's like, oh, we're good there. I'm like, we're not necessarily, we're good. We could be better, right? We could be better getting a guy that's his specialty, playing left tackle. So get the tool that you need to get the job done. So like you said, look, the top 5 guys, yeah, get them done. They might be the best athletes, but I want a guy who is geared for that position to play that position.
Yeah, and the one thing that I wanted to ask you, and because I feel like people aren't attacking this with common sense, and I'm not dogging a lot of people out there. I'm just saying people aren't being rational with this. So you mean to tell me, and I know everyone's basing it on contracts because you don't pay a right tackle the money that we were paying Jawaan Taylor, right? So that's why everyone thinks he should be playing left tackle, and the guy who's making $9 million should be playing right tackle. Mm-hmm. But how does that make any sense for 2 guys who've been in this league for over 4 years now, that all of a sudden you're going to sign a left tackle, you're going to sign a right tackle, but here's the catch. They're going to play the opposite position. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, I don't think we're not in the lab trying to experiments here. We're experimenting with all these different things, and hey, let's try to do it. Look, a guy can do it. His capability, all right. But to me, like you said, the reasoning is, why would you take a guy who was left tackle to move over to right? Okay, for one, if you did that, I would think, well, because he has lost a little bit of what he had, and right tackle is an easier position for him possibly to play. But then you transition the right tackle to left tackle, which is going to be a harder transition for him to make. And it's just because what you have to deal with, body wise, the fits, your dexterity, and all those different things that you have to know and you got to get used to. And that takes time. It takes time. It takes reps. Going against a defender. I think OBJ hurt himself not coming to camp when he needed to, just getting more reps, getting stronger, all those different things that would have helped him in the long run. People wouldn't have had a problem with, paying him good money if they felt like he was dedicated. I mean, I think he was dedicated, but some people just felt like he wasn't necessarily dedicated. And the Chiefs thought, well, look, we're just not going to be put in this position anymore. And so they just moved on from it. They moved on from it because it's the business part of it. But yeah, like you said, getting a guy here that plays left tackle, he moving to right, then a guy that plays right tackle and moving over to left. Man, to me that's it didn't seem practical in my estimation.
Makes zero sense.
As a coach, it makes my job harder. He's up for the task. No doubt about that. But the growing pains it'll take. It's working with the guy, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine to do that. But I just say everybody just, kind of relax on this. It's a good signing either way. It's a good signing either way. As a backup or as depth or as a starter, it's a good signing. It really is. So, like I said, man, hats off to Veach for making this thing, getting it done. And if he comes in, Donovan Smith, and they got him penciled in, he's believing he's going to be a starter. He's been starting over a number of years. He's going to make sure, like, look, I'm going to compete for that left tackle position. He wins it out, then this sign is going to be like an all-time, one of the best deals Veach has done.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I agree. And so we talked about on the show last night, but for those who haven't watched yet, I'm just going to ask you the same question I asked you last night.
Yeah.
Is our offensive line better now that we have Donovan Smith in the room?
100%. No doubt about it. We just got better. We got better depth-wise, got better with experience, better overall. And that's better for Patrick Mahomes. It's better for our offense. But that's what you're trying to accomplish, right? You're trying to accomplish having a better team to win championships. So get it. Get those guys that you need. Shoot, I wouldn't be shocked if we go try to find another D-line guy somewhere, right? I wouldn't be shocked. So,
actually, when you say that, I know we're talking O-line, but with another D-line guy, I think, remember last year we always talked about bringing another veteran edge in. I think we have a lot of edges now. Do you think we go the veteran D tackle route and bring like a Brandon Williams type instead of bringing the Carlos Dunlap type?
I do. I mean, I like our young guys out there on the edge right now. I really like them. Same thing. If you could get a guy for less money, cheap, should bring him in. But yeah, defensive tackle. Sure, you get another guy. I love the rotation. I love having guys in rotational where guys have you don't tire them out during the game. Keep them fresh. Keep bringing new meat at them all the time. A new drive, guys that's having it.
We're getting two questions here. So Tasia says, do you think we could give Taylor this season a transition to left tackle? And then when Donovan Smith's contract runs out, hopefully JT can move to left tackle and either Kennard Morris can start at right tackle in 2024. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It's a good possibility. It is a good possibility. The thing is, if you're giving him reps at left tackle during camp and whatnot, then it's already a year on that transition. Okay. Right. So even if he goes to right tackle, he's here. He's working on it. I'm sure, he's in the building. You have to sometimes having, continuity of the coach and what you're trying to do is important. So that's a whole off season he'll have during the season, working back and forth to left tackle, because that's what you do in practice. You'll get a guy and you let him say, hey, man, take some reps over here at left tackle real quick. Let's see what you can do. And so you could easily do that. You can easily make that transition to having him be left tackle and Kennard and Morris, start at right tackle. That's definitely a possibility. That's the thing about it, because it gives you so much options now that you have a Donovan Smith here. It just opened the options up. So yeah. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
So do you think Donovan will be the Donovan from the 2021 season?
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him to be the Donovan 2021 season. Definitely. The thing is, when your body is healthy, when you've healed up, you just got a little pep in your step. And when you have a disappointing season, you just have this drive to have a much better season the very next year. That's your top priority. And so his priority is to prove all the naysayers wrong, to prove that last year that he had with the injuries and whatnot, he wants to put that behind him. So now he's looking 2021. He's ready to compete and come out there to start. So I'm definitely hoping that.
Yeah, so to provide some context for people for the 2021 season. So I'm going to give you the last, from going back to 2015, I'm going to give you Donovan Smith's numbers. So we'll start off in 2015. He allowed 4 sacks, 54 pressures, had 11 penalties. 2016, 3 sacks, 57 pressures, 13 penalties. 2017, 7 sacks, 42 pressures, 9 penalties. 2018, 8 sacks, 49 pressures, 7 penalties. 2019, 6 sacks, 35 pressures, 9 penalties. 2020, 6 sacks, 35 pressures, 11 penalties. And then 2021, 1 sack, 30 pressures, 8 penalties. And 2022, 6 sacks allowed, 31 pressures, and 12 penalties. So, yeah, 2021 form would be pretty nice.
Yeah. And his coach was getting high praise. He was saying he could be one of the top 3 tackles in the league. You know, he keeps getting better when he's down there in Tampa. So hopefully this right here is just a hiccup, you know, with the injury. Okay, he comes back with renewed purpose, and he comes and he dominates at that position.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And again, he's only 29, so like people acting like this guy's a 35-year-old left tackle coming here. I mean, like, come on, it's not that at all. People are acting like it's Jason Peters coming to play left tackle for us. I mean, no, he's not 40 years old. You know, so it's which is remarkable that at his age he's still playing, right?
Jason Peters, he's a machine, man. He's one of the greats for sure. There's a reason for
that. Someone online, I don't know who it was, but someone was saying, don't compare Donovan Smith signing to the Chiefs bringing in Willie Roaf back in the day. So I guess someone somewhere and compare the two. We're not saying that at all.
Who said that?
No, I saw who said that. I saw a country tweeted it saying, "Don't you dare compare. I'm blocking you. Don't you dare compare this to Willie Roaf."
Yeah, come on now. That's stretching it. We ain't gonna do that now. So we're talking about one of the best ever. Yeah, not just a Chiefs uniform. We're talking about ever. Yeah.
We like the move, but we're not comparing to Willie Roaf, the Hall of Famer.
Hey, listen, look, I've said this. Sometimes guys got to be careful using Hall of Famers and guys who've been elite for a long time in the same sentence and breath as other guys who's just kind of coming in to try to make their way. Yeah, right. I get it. All the comparison is that, hey man, take it easy. Okay. Don't jump on this just soon. Okay. Let the dude get out there and actually show what he can do. Instead of starting, oh yeah, man, look like Randy Moss. Man, you better cut it out. You better not say it again. So.
Hey, if he comes here and does a couple more seasons of 2021, if let's say we re-sign him after the season and he gives us a couple 2021 type seasons, hey, could be the conversation.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Obviously, no one touches Willie.
Yeah, but kind of going back to it, man. It just it's kind of like really wrapping this thing up, man. Yep. I'm on the train of yes, you had to have your best players out there playing, okay. But it's very important if a guy can play his position that he has been working on all his life, has the experience of working on all his life. He would be better suited at the position than somebody else who's just kind of experimenting to get into that. But I'm a big believer in Jawaan Taylor's athletic ability. That's the reason he's here, and we signed him for $80 million. So I'm on that train too. My thing is the Chiefs have gotten better on the offensive line, and that's something to celebrate.
100%. And we talked about on the show last night, we haven't really had a premier right tackles. Obviously Schwartz, but Mahomes only had him for a year. But like, you had Schwartz. We kind of, Wiley, Remmers. I mean, even during the season, people were complaining about Wiley. So like, I love having a premier right tackle and also having a solid guy left tackle.
Right, absolutely. Wiley came in, did a great job for us. Right, he didn't get paid $80 million. Sure, he did a tremendous job.
Yeah, so, we're getting a little hate here, JD. I don't understand what's going on here.
All right, send it. Let me see.
I hate it when Dunn speaks, dude. Donovan Smith will be an All-Pro left tackle next season. I mean, you've been defending Donovan Smith this whole time. This guy Gonzo, you must have just come in because
he must have. Or maybe he's just kidding. Oh, maybe he's I'm being sarcastic.
Maybe. Look, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever it is, hey, you can't hate me speaking, man. I'm gonna speak the truth. I'm gonna speak my truth. So I look and I do a great evaluation. Look, I'm looking at guys. Okay, I know it just from a player as a coach. Donovan Smith he has the ability to be able to start left tackle next year. Yeah. He was brought in to compete to be the starting left tackle this year. Let me put it that way. He was brought in to compete to be the starting left tackle this year. Okay. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Agreed.
And I hope he's Donovan Smith of 2021.
Yeah.
And then we all the way good. Then we're all the way good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Gonzo, again, you should probably watch the whole stream because his whole thing is defending Donovan Smith because there's a lot of people out there who are hating the Donovan Smith pickup. So, again, Dunn's not a hater here, as what I'm seeing. He's not a hater.
That's okay. I'm all right. Hey, Gonzo. That's all right. I'm a lover. Hey, all love, baby. All love.
All right, we're going to get out of here before Tasia. It's brutal because if he plays like his 2021 self, then he's going to want a lot of money and we can't afford him. But if he struggles, then we won't have him back. So basically, either way, he's gone after 2023.
Hey, man, he's going to have to have more than just one good year.
Yep.
It's like, it's one of those things like, okay, you did great. We had another guy who wanted top tackle money. You see where he's at. Mm-hmm. He showed him the door. They let him walk. So, yeah. But also, too, hey, Tasia, who's to say next year in the draft, we don't look for another left tackle? It's cheap.
Yep. Maybe we'll get a trade partner.
Maybe a trade partner. I don't know. But, the questions of Wanye Morris and those guys being the answer is to be seen, right? We have to wait and see for that. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
No, I agree. And like you said, I think our offensive line is much better than it was today, than it was yesterday, and all that, and that's the thing too. It's like at the end of the day, it was either a rookie left tackle or getting a veteran to come in and play tackle. And then I have a guy like Jawaan Taylor who could play kind of all over the line. And so like, what is it? And people would have a problem with the rookie left tackle either. So, like, I mean, either way, people weren't going to be happy with this. People were going to be upset. But what would you prefer, JD? A rookie left tackle or a 29-year-old left tackle who's done it before at a high level?
High level? At this point, rookie left tackle, just because you have it for a long time. It depends on who he is. Depends on who the guy is.
Okay, so hypothetical that we force, so at that pick, so all the top left tackles are pretty much gone at that point where we hypothetically pick a guy who's probably we drafted in the first round, but he probably was going to be a third, like a second day pick, or Donovan Smith. Hypothetically, where would you go there?
Hey, Donovan, hey, you home?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for everyone for stopping by for our impromptu little live reaction on JD talking about the Donovan Smith move. Please go ahead and check out our episode that's up today with our exclusive interview with rookie running back Deneric Prince. You guys would love that. He's a great kid, and we really hope the best for him, and hopefully he makes the squad.
And more importantly, these guys are in the building. They're Chiefs players right now, so let's celebrate every single one of them. Okay, let's get behind that. So JD ain't hating, celebrating. All right, you see what I'm wearing right here. One thing you will never get me doing is hating on nobody, man. It's just not. I'm not that dude. I'm just not. So
yeah. Right, so sometimes I'd like a little more of that, but JD ain't like that, guys.
No.
All right,
positivity here, brother.
Positivity, always good vibes. Always good vibes. The Chief Concerns. We hope everybody has a good rest of their Thursday. Watch some NBA playoffs tonight, and we'll see you guys back here next week on our Chief Concerns episode. Have a good weekend, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.